Welcome one, welcome all to episode 245 of the Xbox Expansion Pass, recorded on Saturday, September 28th, 2024. I'm your host, Luke Lohr, the InsipidGhost, joined by my co-host, the intrepid Captain Logan. Today, we're discussing the Xbox adjacent news coming out of the PlayStation State of Play. We'll be looking at Xbox's news coming out of the Tokyo Game Show, and we're looking at a quiet month for Xbox Game Pass, seemingly. As always, we hope you enjoyed the show. Logan, we like to start the show by offering words of kindness to those who have made our gaming weeks better. But first, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing good. I have been very productive in Sea of Thieves and just seeing a ton of really good news and stuff coming out from gaming. So, anytime we can talk about games, I'm always happy. So, a good week this week. How about you?
It's been an interesting week. I'm in like busy time. I have like busy months in terms of teaching. September, October, because I'm coaching, is just such a busy time. And then like April, May, the end of school is always pretty busy as well. But I've kind of been on this like weird little like duck my head down, not really pay attention to the bigger conversations, and just been enjoying what I want to play because it's full decompress time.
Yeah.
For better or worse, right? And I've been enjoying some fun games this week, just
Nice.
delving into worlds, which has been nice. And that I didn't really pay attention to much of the news as it was happening, which I liked. Because I consumed it after the fact, so I wasn't like in heated conversations or debating, the validity of X announcement or whatnot, which can be fun in its own right. So I enjoyed my gaming week, but it wasn't what I would have expected in a week where you have Tokyo Game Show, PlayStation State of Play, that kind of stuff.
Nice.
So, yeah,
I'm glad that you're able to like take that time to kind of steal away and be not necessarily have to be part of the fervor that was going on, because there's definitely some fervor going on.
Oh yeah, big time, lots of it. Shout out to a coffee chick, Rick Davis, Nisa Hauer, and X Bacon Gaming in the chat. I believe Kylia is over on your side as well. Good to see you all hanging out with us today. Ahoy to everybody, indeed. Logan, this morning, I know we've got like topics, but my words of kindness go out to people that are. This is like a generic one, but in enjoying Dead by Daylight and some of the other stuff I've been enjoying, I've seen a lot of people like dunk on it. And then a lot of people be like, hey, I hope you're having fun. That's awesome. That's great. Shout out to the people that are celebrating people enjoying games. And I mean that wholeheartedly, because like our friend group gave me a hard time and stuff. But I mean, in our Discord, we constantly see people trying stuff out. We have the Xbox expansion pass, but like people are stoked about the PlayStation 30th anniversary stuff and playing Astrobot. And I just get so happy when I see people enjoying games and then supporting others enjoying games. What's up, Web Dave? Good to see you this morning, buddy. So I just want to give them a shout out. Those are my words of kindness to people that are just enjoying and doing this kind of live, let live approach. It's awesome. I like it.
Yeah, it's nice when you get folks that are like wanting to just find good games that they enjoy and stuff. That's why I'm so glad that you've been getting into Dead by Daylight, which we definitely need to like jump into some matches and stuff. Because at this point, like, there's too much, man. There's too many games to enjoy, to not like to have to worry about just all the conversations that are going on. Let's talk about like what's actually been announced. Let's talk about like what we're looking forward to, and seeing if it's actually going to be something where it's actually going to be like on our platform or not.
Right. I fully agree with you. I just this morning wrapped up the casting of Frank Stone.
I saw you playing that. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wrapped. Yeah, it's interesting because it's okay. It's not Supermassive's best work at all. It is not scary. It's got some good spooky vibes, but they did a bad job at making it scary. I liked it because of the Dead by Daylight Easter egg type stuff and the relation to a larger world, but it fails to do what I think a lot of Supermassive games do well. So like where people celebrate Until Dawn, which I love, where people celebrate The Quarry, which is next up on my list. I don't think it does that. It's really like it fails a lot. It could do so much more. I think the story is well done. The acting is decent. The visuals look fantastic, but it's just missed potential after missed potential. Like Frank Stone, the killer, has this incredibly cool story. He's
Mhm.
not Dead by Daylight. The characters are not in Dead by Daylight. All these great Easter eggs that could be cosmetic jump overs and stuff, not in Dead by Daylight. And so it's like, why are we doing this? It feels like more time should have been spent into making the jump scares, which are non-existent, the spooks, which the audio could do a better job of. It's just it's strange. I liked it because I like Dead by Daylight. I would not recommend it to anyone that likes Supermassive's other stuff because I don't think it hits those highs. But I enjoyed it because it was a stressful week and I didn't have to like Twitch react to jumping or shooting or anything. I just watched a movie and chose the dialogue. That was fun. So if anybody's in the market for like I need a relaxed week, I recommend Supermassive stuff. And I'm going to check out The Quarry next because it's in the season and stuff. But I enjoyed it for that reason. I did not get like scared. It was not great integration. I did like the Easter eggs. So take that how you will.
That's pretty cool. I mean, it is kind of a bummer that they didn't have like the crossovers that you would hope for Dead by Daylight. But I mean, part of me is kind of thinking like, okay, well, maybe this is just like an introductory kind of, you know, like they're going to, but they haven't quite gotten there with Dead by Daylight because of licensing deals. Because like right now they're going through like Castlevania content. So
yes, but they also have tons of their original characters, and Frank Stone is one of their original characters, and he looks amazing. Like the visuals in this game are beautiful. Like he is scary. His story is scary. He's not in Dead by Daylight. They have this old like mill where things are like, bad things happen, right? Like a steel mill is a pretty scary place. That map isn't in Dead by Daylight. So it's kind of like what you guys could have done more to sell both. That said, it you know, it serves its purpose, but I think it could have served it better. It's kind of a bummer.
do you think that this is an opportunity where like I'm trying to think of if they had not tied it to Dead by Daylight, you would have enjoyed it more if you hadn't known that there was that kind of IP connection?
No, I would have enjoyed it way less.
Okay.
That's kind of my bigger point is that this is for people that enjoy Supermassive games, whether they're scary or not, like that kind of storytelling.
Yeah.
And it's for people that enjoy Dead by Daylight's lore because the Dead by Daylight lore is really cool. And even how they factor in the license stuff is neat, but it's got its own original characters that are really good. And that's neat. But yeah, I would have enjoyed it way less, actually. I got a kick out of seeing the entity doing its thing, seeing the crossovers and how they bring in bad evil into different worlds and seeing the campfires and stuff. That's what I enjoy. So I was kind of bummed actually to see this.
It's kind of surprised this isn't on Game Pass at the moment from what I can find.
They've got there are games like that. Like Dark Pictures Anthology, I don't think is, but Quarry is.
Yeah.
Until Dawn is. I don't even think Until Dawn's on Xbox. I can't remember. I know that PlayStation's doing the remaster. I actually really enjoyed the first I enjoyed Until Dawn. But you know, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. Although I will say that the Dark Pictures Anthology is only $20 right now. Casting of Frank Stone's 40. No Until Dawn. Interesting. Yeah. I have seen a little bit of the Quarry, which I think is good. I think it's a little bit different than kind of what I was anticipating a game to be. Like I didn't realize like it was going to be like a story visual novel kind of thing. So when I was watching it, I was like, oh, okay. So this is way different than what I'm used to, but I still enjoy. So I might actually check out.
Right. Yeah. Hey, Joe's in here. Awesome. I wanted Joe to be on the show today to talk about the PlayStation stuff. Hey, shout out Split End 89 for the member for 4 months. Actually, I have a cool little banner that I wanted to give a shout out. I made it earlier. I'm gonna switch banners real quick. Logan, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
But I wanted to shout out our YouTube members for being 4 and 5 month subs. We appreciate you guys, but thank you so much. Split End. He says, so not a lot of Xbox TGS, huh? Not expected though. Yeah, it was a pretty quiet thing. I thought the quotes out of Sarah Bond and Phil Spencer were fun, which we'll talk about later on. But Split End, we appreciate you being a member. These memberships help a lot. So thank you guys. Thank you. Logan, I got distracted there on one sec, but Quarry visual novel. Yeah, I think that's the way to look
want to
at
jump
it.
into those.
Do it. You can do Supermassive has this really cool thing where you can play multiple people and you guys vote for what you want to do. And then like cool. It just decides, from your votes what you want to do, what story beats you want to go to. I will say in Casting of Frank Stone, which I like, is they've got this, like, they call it the cutting room floor, but essentially it's a way for you to go back and change your decision. Allow you to get collectibles and stuff, which to me is very appreciated because the collectibles to me are half the fun in a game like that because they're lore based and exciting. And so that's fun. What's up, Nerd Chat? Good to see you guys. Just talking spooky games right now, actually. So yeah.
I love that they're putting up the Halloween decorations right now.
It's time. I got my little Michael Myers.
Nice.
He's right there.
I've got a box of decorations that I have yet to put up, and I've been slacking on that because I've been playing so many other games and stuff.
Yeah, that's fair. What have you been playing this week?
It's mostly been Sea of Thieves, to be perfectly honest. Been grinding through a lot of the commendations that have just kind of been like this close to finishing off in Sea of Thieves, but it's always like a grind. So been focusing a lot on that with A-Chick, and we just like every night we'll jump in, take a look and see what we're close on, how many more of what we need to do, and catching fish, opening gold vaults, and just sailing around to shipwrecks and stuff. So it's been relaxing, but it's nice to be able to get that time in with her and just kind of do something. But outside of that, just been at night I've been working through the story missions on Call of Duty Zombies because I want to try and finish that up before Call of Duty Black Ops 6. So that's kind of been like my go-to, like before bed, do a couple rounds of that to kind of jump in. So that's kind of what I've been up to lately. I need to get into some other stuff though, but it's just a matter of like, okay, well, what's stuff that's multiplayer that I can do with A-Check versus just do alone.
If you're up with COD Zombies, man, hit me up. I'll do that because I love that stuff. And we've been doing World War Z. Yeah. We've been doing like the Aftermath DLC, like the downloaded, like the extra stuff, not just the standard campaign. And you can tell they put some love into those new levels. Like they're much more complex, much more detailed. Like the way that you progress is cooler. Like you'll fill, there's one area where you fill a sewer grate with oil and then light the oil on fire to stop the horde while you move through Marseille. Like it's really fun. Nice. What's up, Abdel 114? Yeah, World War Z, top notch. I forget how good that game really is. Yeah. It's good. So yeah. Split End says sad that COD Zombies didn't really get much support after launch. I prefer the Warzone style zombie to round based, at least in years past. I don't know what Black Ops 6 will hold for us, but I liked this one much more. I thought it could have done more also, I
mean, I would say a lot of the content that they put into it is all like end game stuff because it's kind of where a lot of people were. So like for me, like I generally don't really go into the rifts, but the rifts that I have been in have all been like wild and just absolutely crazy.
Yeah. I sometimes think they're overly complex for new players to get into, which is kind of a bummer. So.
Yeah, definitely. Like figuring out like the story missions outside of just doing the contracts versus trying to understand like the mechanics of like a zombies mode and stuff. Like they're going to be going back to the horde mode or like wave based stuff in Black Ops 6, which I think will definitely kind of streamline a lot of that process because it's just going to be like a map with zombies coming every thing, and you're just slowly progressing your way up the like quality and pack a punch levels so that like hopefully you're saving up money to be able to mow down monsters, but that doesn't change the fact that you're going to need to have like special equipment. Whereas with the Warzone version, it's a lot more like go do what you want. And you don't have to do like anything. If you just want to sit at an exfil and mow down zombies for experience, you can do that. There's nothing that's pushing you into zone 3 So it's very different, but it's a lot more chill. And I kind of wish that they were able to keep both, because I think both have good places.
I agree. And I would love to see them just put some zombies into just regular Warzone the way that old, was it Blackout used to do back in the
At
first
the mansion.
Yeah, the early days. I always liked that. I thought that was fun.
Before they called it Warzone, they had it. It was like something
Blackout.
else.
It was Blackout.
Was it Blackout? It was just Blackout. Oh yeah, it was just Blackout. Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of liked Blackout a little bit more.
I don't know that I liked it more, but I liked the zombies popping up because it forced movement. Which was cool. Cool.
I also found some good stuff in there too from time to time. You did.
No, you're absolutely right. Split End making a good point. The World War Z swarm tech is what's in Space Marine 2. I didn't realize it was the same tech. I knew it looked familiar, which is awesome to hear and see. That's awesome. And then, of course, one of my favorite human beings of all time, Jalen Gildiaz. She says, "What's up, Mr. Lohr? I got homecoming today. Kiddo, I hope you are safe and have a blast. So happy for you." Very, very cool.
Stay away from bleachers.
Oh, yeah, horror movies, right? All right. Logan, we had lots of small news, I think, coming out this week. You put in the notes that you wanted to chat about the new Clear Cypher Series Elite 2 controllers.
Dude, can we please? Like, come on. Like I don't think I have my blue Cypher. Yeah, it's out in the living room. I've been using my my Sky Cypher transparent controller like out in the living room. And God, dude, they nailed the transparency from like the 90s. Like I grew up in the 90s and I had my N64s and my atomic purples and my lime greens and my glacier blues and stuff. And I had like, like everyone remembers like the clear purple Game Boy Advances and stuff. Like we had everything transparent plastic, and that was something that we all enjoyed and stuff. So when there's like this fervor going around, like in the modding community, like I've got atomic purple Joy-Cons for my Switch that I modded out. Now granted, I screwed up and stripped one of the screws, so I am forever like stuck with that set on there. But dude, like like clear plastic is such an aesthetic. It's such a and I used to get comments all the time when I would take my Switch out and about. They'd see the clear purple controllers and they'd be like, "Dude, that is sick." And I'm like, "Yeah, it takes me back to the 90s." So Xbox is doing that. They came out with a marketing campaign. They've introduced the Cypher series. They've already got the Sky Cypher, which is the blue one that just came out. Now they've got the Ghost Cypher, which is the clear white one with some like glaze. But they have they have brass metal D-pad and triggers, which look so good on this. It looks really, really good. But now they've got the design lab is now set up to have the Cypher series content. So now you can actually go and actually build out the Elite Series 2 with multiple different colors. You can go like orange, green, blue, purple, all the colors that you would expect out of like an N64 controller, and actually like put together a really beast looking like controller in an Elite Series 2. Now, granted, I know it's Elite Series 2. We're all waiting for the Elite Series 3. Who knows when and if that's ever going to come out.
Right.
I myself am already like dealing with the fact that my Elite Series 2 for my Halo Edition one, some of the little rubber next to the right trigger is like peeling away from the plastic. So I'm like, maybe I need to go in and get some sticky glue or some Gorilla Glue and like kind of just tack that back on. But overall, like, look, I went and built like a few of these and just kind of took a look at the actual like combinations that you can do. And now they have like this I can't remember what they called it, but it's a chromatic D pad and paddles that are kind of like, they look like they're like heat tempered, like they're just kind of like a weird I don't know, prismatic color. They just look awesome, dude. And I'm really interested to see like if they're able to come out with more of the base standard Xbox controllers, because I think those are what I think a lot of people jump onto just because of the cost for the Cypher series. And we're getting closer and closer to being able to remake the Sea of Thieves controller. And really that's what it comes down to, is that purple and green with the gold tooth trigger, like clear plastic controller back in the day, back in 2018. Yeah, that was the shit. And now we're getting a little bit closer, but now we're actually like getting closer towards doing it with an Elite, which I absolutely love using Elites with the back paddles or just back buttons in general. I just need back buttons for a majority of things. So that's what I wanted to kind of bring up, because the Ghost Cipher is already out there at 70. The Elite Series 2, if you go for everything, you know, it's probably around like $200, but custom, it looks good. It looks really, really good.
They do look good, man. I'm looking at them right now. I love that thing, man. I don't know why our generation loves clear plastic so much, but we do. It's Nintendo's fault. The N64 and the Game Boy. Was it the Pocket that started that trend? No, the original Brick had one too.
It was the, I remember they really pushed it with the color.
The purple one with the 64 was the big deal.
Yep. Everyone remembers that. And then they had the Donkey Kong. I think it was like a green Donkey Kong N64 at one point. They came out with like full consoles that were like clear plastic in colors and stuff, and I was just like, this is living right here. This is what I live for. Yeah,
totally a bummer that that more companies don't do that now. However, I feel like we're seeing the resurgence, so I'm digging it. I'm digging it.
90s is back.
Sickle Shell's in chat saying he would love to see the next Elite controller come out. Join the club. I feel like they're holding off on that for the next Xbox, right? We know we have it on pretty good authority that Xbox is aiming to release their console ahead of the PlayStation 6, and I would imagine the Elite 3 is kind of jumped in there in that same realm as well.
I don't know what it would do though. That's my question, because I already look at
haptics probably.
So haptics are good already. I can understand like the little haptics that the Edge and the DualSense do. I think for me the Hall Effect controllers or the control sticks would be the biggest thing for me. Like that's what I would want. I would want them to be able to get the non-drift sticks in there. So it's no more an issue that we're like having to like buy new controllers. Like, granted, I've got plenty of controllers chilling near me at all times. I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4. If I reach down, I could probably grab another 2. Yeah, I've got like 6 controllers near me. I'm not hurting for controllers, but the Elite 2 is something that like does a lot. I think for me, I think I would just rather like to have Hall Effect controllers. I would like to have the vibration built in so that it's got the haptics and stuff. I know a lot of people have issues with the bumpers. I've never had any problems with the bumpers. I've never had any problems with the controller. The only part is this little plastic nubbin portion right here is peeling up. If I could tack that down, controller would still be perfect.
I love my Elite 2, but my bumpers do sometimes not work well. Like I will say that is a thing that I run into from time to time. And, Split End in chat saying, just make them more durable. Yeah, that would be great. Great. Sickle's on his 4th Elite. I think I'm on my 3rd, but one of those was the Elite 1. Right. And then the Elite 2, I bought a second one because they had the white core on sale. So, but when the bumpers start going, I feel like that nerfs so much of what you can do across so many different games. And I think that sucks.
See, that's so interesting. Cause for me, like I'm the person that's willing to like crack these open and start tearing apart the boards and replacing parts. And now that they've got like the actual like official boards available through Xbox's website, if one of my bumpers were to go out, chances are I would probably just go online and buy one of the replacement boards and then tear into it and actually replace the bumper, because swapping boards is real easy.
My son Joseph Moran from the trophy room, he regularly breaks controllers. Like he will just, I guess, squeeze too tight or push the buttons too hard. Did your cat just startle you?
They are fighting for some reason for position on the bed. I don't get it.
But yeah, he regularly breaks them, which to me is very strange.
Yeah. A lot of rage in that boy.
Yeah. Well, you two have been arguing nonstop, and I'm just like, whatever.
I would like to call it arguing. I don't think he argues well, but that's my opinion.
Yeah, I'm not going there. God. I will say for listeners, I'm going to let you peek behind the curtain. They won't shut up in this one chat that we're all in. And it's so annoying because I don't read it because neither of them are making any sense. And there's just pages. You just have to scroll on your phone, just trying to be like, hey, to my nerd chat friends. But these two are just back and forth. Discord, let it be known that he could be hanging out with you guys, but no, he and Joe are arguing over the color of a remaster pixel on the third page of a. It's so silly.
It's the colors that are really frustrating. Like they've done disservice completely. I don't even know why they bother.
All right, Logan, let's read a thank you to our patrons because I know that times are tight and people that are spending money to support us, I really want to thank them. I know it's been tough. I see a lot of people struggling right now. And those of you that are willing to put money towards supporting our channel and helping us do the things we do, we are grateful to you. My friend, would you mind reading these incredible names?
Sure. Every week, I want to thank you guys for coming over to patreon.com/Xbox Expansion Pass to show your support and your love. Everything that you do goes towards helping out the podcast, and Luke is very good about making sure that happens. So we like to thank the tier 2 and tier 3 tiers of, that's a weird way of saying that, of patrons each week on the podcast. So thank you to Edward, Chris 1H1D, Nicholas Johnson, Ellery Woods Parker III, Rob Frawley II, Tao Zochi, Randall Thor 19, Silkenit, African, aka Charles Jones, Game Positive, Jampack Sam, Matt Valdez, Neo Prime 33, Rick Davis. I just lost my place.
Red Beast,
Red Beast, Xbox Mike 29, the Lord Sir Master James Suddy, Brendan Myers, aka the Winner Gamer, Sony's VP of Marketing Kevin Butler, Clint Coombs, DJ Hero, and Dano12. Thank you so much for your love, for your support. It means the world to us that you do so, and it always does kind of go back into the podcast. So I think lately we've been re-upping on a lot of the costs for the actual streaming service that we're using, as well as content creation that we use for a lot of the artwork.
Big time. Big time. A lot of that stuff. And you know, those costs keep going up too. It's just, gaming continues to be more expensive. And those of you that are willing to help out, we appreciate you. And if you're not, the like and share buttons mean a lot to us as well. They really, really do. So,
yeah.
Well, Logan, the PlayStation State of Play. The PlayStation State of Play occurred this past week. I caught some of it. I actually checked out a lot of the coverage after the fact. I think I mentioned that earlier in the show.
Yeah.
I found it to be pretty enjoyable, given that it had a lot of Xbox adjacent news. I left that showcase quite pleased in seeing the Hell Is Us. I thought that looked cool. Alan Wake 2's Lake expansion being horror based and in October. Love that. I thought that was cool. Don't really quite get the Sonic Cross Shadows Generations like hype, even though I love Sonic, but so it goes. And then I thought the Fear the Spotlight is interesting out of Blumhouse. And then I got a little icing on the cake with that free Shredder's Revenge DLC, which is out. That's icing on a cake. You know, I love that game. I love my TMNT. I regularly still play some of the games, and they've got another game coming out in October. TMNT does. So it was a cool little like treat there. Keep in mind that's on Game Pass, but there was a lot of good stuff in that State of Play. It just wasn't Sony specific, with the exception of Last of Us 2, I thought. Not Last of Us 2. I'm sorry. Ghost of Tsushima 2. Sorry. Ghost of Tsushima 2, which looks great. And now more people are realizing why Assassin's Creed got delayed. And we can say, Logan, like, it's a good thing it got delayed. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. And here's the thing is with, I think, like a lot of people that were hoping for like Star Wars Outlaws to come out and really just be like an amazing game. You could tell that they were like willing to get it to a critical like a critical success, or not like a critical success. They're willing to get past like the critical errors and anything that was like little things like
Patchable.
AI or anything like that. It's stuff that was patchable. That was always stuff that they're just like, okay, well, we'll worry about that later. And because of that, it feels like it's very much one of those situations where gamers are kind of sick of like studios not taking the time to polish, because we're no longer like waiting for games and needing to necessarily like have to have this game be the game that is like the game for us for the entire year. We'll jump on this. Most people will play a fair amount of it and then bounce over to something else. So I've been noticing with a lot of the games that I've been playing in this year for review, a lot of the games tend to break down towards the end of the actual game. Like the last half of the game is just not polished. And that's where I find a lot of the bugs, and that's where I find a lot of the performance issues. So for me, when I look at this and I see that like, okay, well, you know, Ghost 2 is coming out and they know that Assassin's Creed Shadows is going to be that Ghost in the Shell for them. You know, they have to polish this. They have to make it look good, because they know that Sucker Punch is going to kill it with this game, because Ghost is an amazing title and is very well polished. So they need to make sure that if Shadows is going to do well, if they're going to continue to actually like make sure that people enjoy Ubisoft titles, then they have to start stripping away some of the stuff that is taking time away from the actual polish. Things like season passes, early access, things like that. Like they just need to make the game, make it good, polish it, and then release it in a good state, and people will stop caring about how much they're trying to be monetized to. They will be happy to buy it at full price.
Well, you swung that towards Assassin's Creed, but you are correct. I fully agree with you. I was on State of Play, and you took me into Assassin's Creed and now I'm down that rabbit hole because I'm right with you. You know, I think Star Wars Outlaws, I have not played it yet. They gave us our review code after release or right at release, so I just didn't get to it.
Yeah.
And then I see this content roadmap that they've put up, and they've got all these fixes on the way, and it's like that should have happened already.
Yeah.
But I am excited. I will play a better version of it. So I'm excited for that one. Big shout out to David Burdett real quick, gifting a membership right now. And then it looks like that membership went right to our friend X Bacon Gaming, which is very cool. So we appreciate you, man. Thank you for supporting the show. Thank you so much. So what did you want to say about my Outlaws thing?
Just that they're coming out with a Steam client version in November, and I think that's when a lot of these patches are coming out for Outlaws as well too. So I'm probably going to jump on Outlaws in November and kind of treat that as like the actual release date, and everything up until then is going to be like beta access in my mind. So that way when I jump into it, I'll have a lot fresher take on it and not really look at it. But going back to the State of Play, I do want to say I'm really, really excited for Ghost 2. Like Ghost of Yokai is on my list of like games that I will stop everything for and play. As long as I'm not traveling, I am going to be playing that game, because Ghost of Tsushima was a masterpiece of a title, and Sucker Punch deserves all the roses for that, because that is one hell of a game. And I've gone back to that game multiple times just to play through it, because I love that world. I love that combat. I love that style that they're putting into. So seeing that Sony's actually coming out with Ghost of Yokai is fantastic news, because right now they need some really fresh games that are coming out that are going to be really good games, and Sucker Punch is one of those ones that they know how to make really good games. And it's a shame that Concord failed, because Concord in my mind was like the thing to kind of keep people going until 2025, along with Astrobot. So now at the moment they only really have Astrobot to really kind of like enjoy and kind of go back to and have that fresh experience with.
I think that showcases the need, necessity, and the use of why the remasters are so important to their business model. And I wish Xbox would do a few more of them myself, because it keeps the consumer base and the fan base active and excited, but it's a smaller and shorter development time. And so that's not to say all of them are smart, but I do think that's part of why Sony's strategy maintains their success, even though it's not necessarily great success. They're not exactly doing great right now. Console sale wise, doing great, but I mean in terms of like bringing money in. So.
Yeah, like so Sony's planning on remastering Horizon Zero Dawn. I having that will pick up the $10 upgrade and go back to the Frozen Wilds DLC because I like as soon as I got done with one storyline, I jumped right into two because I wanted to know what was going on. Mm-hmm. So I never went through the Frozen Wilds. So I'm probably going to go back and play through that because I actually like the weapons better in one than I do in two so far. Mm-hmm. But with the remasters, I do see why they have to do it. It's a shame because there's some really talented studios out there. It's just their timing, their cadence was not lined up well. And this is, a thing that Xbox, I think, does well, but sometimes doesn't do right. Because we've seen games where we needed to have the lineup that we did, but the games didn't make it past certain points where, like, I would look at like Redfall. Redfall was supposed to come out in summertime, then it got delayed till springtime of the next year, and even still with that delay, it still was not a really good title to put out at a time. Like, they should have had more time with that game to really kind of build it up. So even when studios have the time to be able to make great games and stuff, and we don't have remasters to kind of fill in the gaps, they still don't always hit. Mm-hmm. So I can definitely understand why remasters are doing well right now for Sony, because that's what they have to lean on. Mm-hmm. But at that point, I sit there and look at like, okay, well, what did Xbox do? They went and bought publishers. They went and bought studios, and they filled out that content by making sure that if their first party studios were busy working on titles, let's take Everwild, for example, we're never going to see Everwild in the next year. How long before we actually see State of Decay 3? When's Fable's release date coming out? In the meantime, we have all this other stuff that's coming out, like StarCraft Ghost and stuff, or like not StarCraft Ghost, StarCraft 2 and StarCraft 1 for the Tokyo Game Show that we'll probably talk about later. But we also have like all of this third party content that's kind of filling in the gap as well too. And I think that's what Sony's needing to rely on at the moment. That is, it's a shame, but I understand that that's what they got to do.
I'm not sure I 100% agree. I think Sony is relying absolutely on third party right now, but I think Xbox would be very well served if they remastered any number of their games from State of Decay 1 or 2. I think that would do great. You could do great stuff with Recore. You could bring the old Gears games. I could see quite a few titles benefiting from the remastered treatment. And I'm not sure I agree that like StarCraft is a good comparison. We'll get back to the state of play, but like StarCraft, it's really cool that it's coming to Game Pass, but it's not. It's StarCraft 1 remaster, which is already out. It's already a thing. And StarCraft 2 campaign, which has already been out, already a thing. It's just that they're now coming into Game Pass, which I misread when I first saw it. I thought StarCraft 2 was also remastered. It's not. So really, it's just the arrival of an ABK set of games into Game Pass. Yeah. And it's just Game Pass for PC. So that announcement I was really stoked on at first. Mm-hmm. And now I'm a lot more tepid on. I'm like, it doesn't help. Like, that's not really a thing. Yeah. At least not in the same level. I was very hyped for it before I realized this isn't new. It's just arriving into Game Pass. That's not the same thing. And I would love to see some remastered stuff out of Xbox to fill these gaps, because they are sending their stuff everywhere, right? Like Xbox is, which is not a bad thing, but it does feel strange as an Xbox fan to see that, Indiana Jones less than a year is going to PlayStation. And what if it has the Star Wars Outlaw thing where it's not ready, and the good version comes to PlayStation, but Xbox got screwed over? And I think that's going to happen anyway, because you do get the benefit of a cheaper game and a better game down if you don't play at launch. That's true of everything. But things going everywhere is commonplace. I don't know that I like the lack of remasters out of Xbox, because HDR, auto HDR, and FPS boost was dope for Xbox One. and a bit of the early days of Series SX, but I would like to see some of these old games be rekindled, because while Horizon is not necessary, it really does welcome in a lot of people that might be checking out the show, checking out the
Horizon
episode,
show.
the Horizon, like the episode that's coming in that like anthology thing they're doing.
Oh, gotcha.
That's in there. Plus, they're bringing in fans from Lego Horizon. Like this
Yeah.
allows them to onboard people in a way that Fallout would have greatly benefited from if they'd had a remaster out
Yeah.
there. So I'm not saying I necessarily get it or in full agreement, but I do think there is a place for remasters, and I'm okay with time being spent on it. I think the question becomes like, is it time spent in lieu of Gears 6 versus a Gears collection? And that's a debatable thing. That just depends on how they allocate resources.
Yeah. I think if you have like a team, like going back to the state of play, there's a bunch of remasters in here. There's Lunar Remastered Collection, but the one that I care about is the one that's Soul Reaver 1 and 2 remastered. That is something that's going to be cross-platform. That's something that Aspire is doing. That is something that there's no studio that's being waylaid by having to go back and remaster this. This is literally just a remaster studio who got the license, who went and decided that they were going to remaster these and then put them out on all platforms. They did this with the Tomb Raider collection. I see no reason why stuff like this can't exist. If the original studio devs for Dead Space want to go out and remake Dead Space, or if they want to go out and make a new title like Callisto Protocol, like that, I don't mind at all. If the game is not available, like Wind Waker HD is not available on the Switch, you can't play that in any means right now. You have to go buy old consoles to do that. With all the games that we have on Xbox, most of the first party content is all available already, and it's all available with the original discs that you purchased, and it's also available through Game Pass. So for me, it would literally just be the glow up aspect of it. That would be the main reason why I would want to go back and play those, is because they went and actually like did a full repass on all of the textures, up the thing to be able to like take advantage of the new hardware, to make sure that, it ran smoother, or it had more graphics, or they were able to add ray tracing, something like that would do that. But at the same time, I feel like that's something that they can do and not necessarily have to charge for. And I think that's something where I'm like, okay, I will buy remasters. I will buy remakes. Like I bought the Gargoyles remaster of the old Sega game from limited edition, because I wanted to have like that, because that game is just not available. So with some of these like Horizon as the example, like you can go buy the PS4 disc and throw that into the PS5 and it plays great. Like that's the version that I have, is the PS4 version, and it plays amazing. Like the frame rate's solid, the graphics look great. I'm not noticing the difference in number of foliage on the ground. Like it's just it just runs really, really well. So for me, like the remaster feels more like it's unnecessary, because it already feels like the game is in a great state. So I don't know what they're doing. And that's that's ignorance on my part, that I don't understand like why that was being the case. So if it were something like OG Xbox days, I could see like wanting to go back and actually like really build that up, because that's something like, we've already seen them do that with Halo and Gears, and it looks great. It looks way, way better. So I could definitely understand that. But it's something that I don't know that it would be like a full price purchase for me, if that's going to be like the requirement.
I think when it comes at its core, at the core of the remaster question, I'm all for remasters of games that I love. Like if they gave me Arkham anything remastered, yep. They gave me Gears anything, yep. There are a lot of games that I just want to play again, love a new achievement list kind of thing with a nice glow up. It's a matter of, I think, how much we want them versus how much we need them. And how much you need them, you don't need anything in games. So it's a matter, Do you want it? And I think that Horizon Remaster is going to do quite well. I think it looked fantastic, which I was really surprised about. I didn't think the glow up would be that significant. I don't know that they had to do it. I don't know that that was the right use of resources. I don't like that Sony raised the price of the base game back up, and then they're saying you can have a $10 upgrade. That part kind of sucks, which they did. And I think that's kind of going under the radar. That kind of stinks.
Go buy the physical. Go buy a used copy of the physical edition.
No, that's terrible advice. They're getting rid of all their physical stuff. Their new console is digital only, and they're not going to have physical in the next one.
That's why you go and you buy the disc version at launch to support the console, and then you just buy, like, because that's what I did with my PS4, man. My PS4, I bought like the new version, but I made sure it had the disc drive. And then I was just like, okay, well, I'm going to buy all of the used PS4 games that are super cheap.
Support the developers. Logan hates developers, everyone.
Oh my God. Who's starting the rhetoric now?
My point is it's a catch-22 no matter which way you go, but the direction of the medium is not going to be physical based regardless.
Yeah. As a consumer, I do what's right for me first.
Fair. There you go. Fair. All right. So back to this whole state of play thing. I love that the return of Soul Reaver is a thing. I think that's been long asked for, but I do not necessarily have any trust in Aspire. You mentioned them earlier, no resources being lost, but Aspire is not one to be trusted. My joke that I almost tweeted, but I felt like it would be taken too negative, even though I think it's hilarious, is Knights of the Old Republic remake died so that Soul Reaver could live, which I think is like, it's so funny because, well, one's a remaster, one's a remake, but like still, do you trust Aspire with anything? No.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with that one. So I saw the Alan Wake 2 expansion, which I'm so excited for. Did you end up playing Alan Wake 2 at all?
No, I never did. Although I did play through a majority of the first one. So I was like, okay, I kind of get like the world now. I just haven't like sat down to actually go through 2 yet. So that's kind of like, I know it looks great. Looks amazing. So the remaster will be even more beautiful, but you know, we'll kind of have to wait for that.
Maybe a year. I'm so excited for that expansion. And as a tangential, just a Lucasm, you know, Alan Wake is in Dead by Daylight, and the whole premise of the survivor arcs in those is to bring light so that you can get to the exits. And Alan Wake's whole thing is light, so it actually feels like an Alan Wake experience, which is kind of just a neat little tangential related thing, because running from darkness and dark beings while trying to bring light is an Alan Wake staple. So,
that's too funny.
Dragon Age, though, that game looks better and better. I'm in on Dragon Age. I may not play it right at launch just because of timing, because we got Shattered Space and so much, but Dragon Age looks dope.
Yeah, I'm surprised more people aren't talking about that, or if they are, they're not talking about it in our circles. So, but yeah, that one looks amazing. Like I'm genuinely curious like how that's going to turn out, because I think it's going to either bomb because people are only seeing like positives and they get in there and there's like broken systems and stuff, or it's going to be amazing and it's going to be like one of those like a Baldur's Gate style like hits that people are just like jumping on and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I get more Baldur's Gate like it's going to blow up and it's going to be that big, but I don't know. You know what I mean? Like we'll see. But I think that game's going to be much bigger than we initially thought, because it was troubled. I feel like, you know, we did not hear good things about its development. And to link to a Ubisoft discussion, like seeing Star Wars Outlaws, seeing Assassin's Creed, like launching the broken version isn't paying the dividends that it perhaps once did. So hope it comes out and comes correct, because a lot of people are excited about Dragon Age, and I think more people are going to be critical if it's not what they want.
Yeah, definitely.
So
you ready for Hell Is Us?
What am I excited for it?
Yeah.
Yes, I am. That's Dead Good Media making that one, I think. I'm excited to learn more, I guess, probably a better way to put it.
Yeah.
It looks neat.
Looks wicked.
It does. Yeah, I have questions, and I guess since I'm on this like horror kick, I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
And Fear the Spotlight, another horror game, but it's made PS1 era graphics.
I know, that's so random.
It's such a weird generation like that.
Yeah.
The PS1 was epic. It was, I think, far better than the N64.
Oh yeah.
But like graphically, no. Like I played Doom 64 not too long ago. Like graphically, the 64 ages way better than anything in the 32-bit era.
Are you really?
I think so. But I think the thing is the backgrounds in the 32-bit era look better. It's just this weird, that whole generation is the worst at revisiting because 16-bit was still pixel. So you could do anything you needed to and it looked beautiful. The art was there. And they were doing all these tricks and trades to make graphics look the way they looked in the 32, 64-bit era. So it's just such a strange revisit. But I like that this is happening. It kind of reminded me a little bit of the Bloodborne Blood Cart fan project. That was the thing at one point. It was just a fan project. But my bigger thing is I'm interested in this. Like, all right, what are you doing, Bloomhouse? Like, what's your jam? And so we'll see what happens there. Monster Hunter Wilds looks great. I saw that one at E3 or not E3. I think that game looks great. I'm not interested in that game, but it looks incredible.
Looks cool. I already know I'm going to hate the systems, so I'm probably not going to get into it because for whatever reason, Monster Hunter has to have like 1,800 systems that they throw onto you in the first hour and a half of the game. And I'm just like, I'm too overwhelmed. I just let me go smack a monster and have my little cat cook meals for me. I don't want to cook the meals. I just want the cat to cook the meals, and I just want to smack the monster. I don't want to care about how much crafting there is or how much oils I have to use or how much stamina I have to worry about. Just let me go smack the monster.
There you go. Fair enough. Can't blame you on that one. I'm the same way. That's why I won't get into it. So.
Yeah. It's too dense.
All right, let's switch gears here over to Tokyo Game Show. I'm writing down my time codes. Tokyo.
I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this coming out of it after the actual show aired. I don't think any of us watched it live, but yeah.
No, well, I watched a little bit of it just because it was 6 a.m. But I was getting ready. I wasn't paying super attention.
Yeah.
I thought it was an interesting thing. It's nice to see.
I did that to you. I was wondering if it was going to catch you.
You did. It was nice to see the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster Collection come over, as well as Legend of Mana and I think Tales of something or another. And I felt bad because we were actually offered codes on that, and I was like, "Thanks, but that's not us." But it's nice to see that happening for Xbox fans because I think the disparity is not a good thing. I think it was Trials of Mana. That's what Trials and Legend of Mana were coming over. I like the StarCraft announcement. That's a big deal. It's just not the big deal that I thought it was because I thought it was StarCraft 2 remastered.
Yeah. Do you want to get into some of the speculation around that?
In a moment. Okay. I just want to recap the bigger things. They did say that Xbox is doing better than it's ever done in the Asian markets, which is cool. There were a lot of good, I thought, trailers here and there. I'm kind of pulling up an article right now just because I saw so many good things there. I like the Metal Gear Solid stuff. Age of Mythology, I've already played. That's a great game. You guys should play that one. They had a lot of very Asian skewed trailers, which is appropriate. And anytime Xbox is present in Tokyo, in Asian markets, I think it's a good thing. But I thought it was kind of a light showcases overall in terms of announcements and new. And that part is kind of a bummer given how quiet Game Pass is this month, with the exception of Call of Duty. So I was expecting a bit more, I guess you would say, but I'm also not terribly disappointed. I didn't expect too much. Xbox either is saving for Game Awards or they blew their load, wish I hadn't said that, in July or June at their showcase there because they had a great showcase there. So whatever their approach was, I didn't expect much from Tokyo Game Show. I got more than I thought as far as StarCraft and Final Fantasy stuff. It was fine.
This is not our market. Nothing about what was shown here was pushed towards us. No one in America outside of the anime fans really care about My Hero Academia. But I'm sure that My Hero Academia is way bigger in Japan than it is in the States. I love My Hero Academia. I'm working through my seasons and stuff like that. So when I saw All Might in Overwatch 2 as Reinhardt, I was like, oh, it kind of works, but it's still pretty good. Like Araka, like they look good as far as the skins go. But it's one of those things like most people probably don't care about My Hero Academia. They probably, if they're playing Overwatch 2, they probably care more about the Warcraft skins that came in recently. So stuff like that, like it's not going to hit. Delta Snake being remastered or remade and getting a new trailer for that was awesome. I think that game looks amazing right now. I think it looks way better than the PS3 version that came out forever ago. And I genuinely think that that's one that I'm kind of surprised we didn't get like a better time frame for. But I'm also of the mindset that, you know, like let them cook. Like I'm totally fine with that. I'm not too worried how that's going to do. I thought it interesting that they had a full Japanese trailer for Indiana Jones being the next big title, I think, from Xbox, and seeing them have Japanese language support at launch is kind of a big deal because that's something that's been missing in the past, and they haven't really addressed that. Now it looks like they're trying to address that. So I'm glad that they kind of did some of the big reveals and stuff, and you're showing off a really interesting thing that says that Phil Spencer actually revealed that Xbox now has the largest install base in Asia that the console platform has ever had. I want to blame that on the Series S. Can we blame that on Series S? Thanks, Series S.
I blame it on the cloud.
Oh, you think the install base
and PC?
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think this. I mean, maybe, but like, who knows? You know, like Xbox is seeing very good growth.
Yeah.
And it's not, and they're doing a very good job, I think, at being aware that Japan is not all of Asia. Asia is actually far bigger. They're doing a very good job at realizing that consoles are not the future. So despite being outsold at least 3-1 by PlayStation in terms of consoles, their presence is far larger than it's ever been. So there's a very strange and unique aspect to it. I wonder how they're calculating. Like, is this just World of Warcraft you're factoring in, or is it StarCraft players that you're factoring in now? Like, what's your method? But also, it doesn't really matter because it's spreading the influence of the company. I think the reality is, to go back to our argument a moment ago, like, it's not a matter of physical. It hasn't been a matter of physical for some time. It's not a matter of consoles even. It's where people are playing your games. And, you know, the biggest thing coming out of this whole what is it? Tokyo Game Show isn't these numbers, isn't these announcements. It's that Phil Spencer is being memed for joking about where the X button goes. I don't know if you've caught that on socials. That's where like there are articles written. It was funny because on like Xbox sites, it's like Phil Spencer jokes about the X button. On PlayStation consumer sites, or not consumer sites, PlayStation enthusiast press sites, Phil Spencer complains about where the X button is. It's like, no, he's just joking, and that's what we're talking about. That means Xbox didn't announce big enough stuff. If that's what we're all talking about, you know.
Yeah, there could have been write-ups on, and maybe there are, but I could very easily could have been like, all right, well, Overwatch 2 is getting My Hero Academia. Here are the characters and the episodes that you might want to check out if you wanted to go learn more about why these skins are so important that they made skins for them. Here's a recap on StarCraft as a story and a franchise, and the death of Ghost, and why we might be getting a reawakening of that franchise in the future. You know, here's 5 reasons why you need to understand why Trials of Mana is one of the greatest JRPGs in the history of JRPGs. Like, here's why you should jump on these. Like, there's so many articles that you could be writing about these. Like why the Pixel remasters are fantastic for Final Fantasy fans who have been slowly waiting for them to come from Steam and PlayStation over to Xbox and stuff. Like, there's so many, but instead people are arguing about like how come Final Fantasy 7 and 16 weren't announced for Xbox, why Phil Spencer is complaining about where the X button is. You know, there's so many other stupid articles that are coming out that really are kind of fluff pieces to just kind of fill out the algorithm and whatever's hitting on social media, as opposed to like addressing the content. Like we're literally hours away from Shattered Space coming out for
Are we really?
Starfield.
Is it that close?
It's Monday.
Oh wow, that's cool.
It's Monday. It's coming, but that's the problem. People are writing articles about X button placement.
Well, I did not request coverage codes for that one because they gave us the big edition or whatever, and back when it came out. So I wasn't gonna have time to play it. I know that people are playing Shattered Space, but I wasn't even like aware it was this close.
Yeah. It is literally coming out Monday. They've had deep dives available. They've been talking about it, but nobody's writing about it. Mm-hmm. Nobody's talking about how this is going to be the spooky content for Starfield for the Halloween season, with the Great Snake, and how their horror vibe is really going to be feeding into the October timeframe at the start of the month. Like
maybe it's just embargo, because again, I didn't request, so I don't know. Like maybe it's just embargo and they can't say anything about it.
Could be, but I mean, for the last couple of weeks they've been pumping out content for it to like let people know and kind of say like, hey, you know, these are the things you're going to want to check out. These are the things that we're really happy to be bringing to the game, beyond just like vehicles and stuff. So I'm looking forward to jumping in on Monday. Like I've got my I've got my PC version like installed, ready to go. It's just a matter of like waiting for it to go live so I can pick it up, because honestly, like I try not to pre-order any of the DLC or stuff like that. So unless I can see a reason why I would want to do that, like that's you know, I'm pretty much good to go. Actually, I need to double check because I'm probably going to end up playing it on Xbox because we got the premium edition. I might end up just jumping into the Xbox version for now and then buy Shattered Space on PC later.
It doesn't transfer? I thought it was synonymous. It should be synonymous, right? Like if you have Xbox Ultimate, you have it, and there you go, right?
I don't know if it's Play Anywhere. I'll take a look.
Look that one up. I see a comment in chat from Abdel. What's up, Abdel? I do appreciate you, my friend. Saying that his Series X is getting noisy, and he's wondering between upgrading to a white Series X or a 2 terabyte Galaxy Black. I always say go with memory, but cost is a big problem there. My Xbox has been doing a little stutter in here and there, and I was wondering, I was like, is it not doing well? Like, is it broken? Is it messed up? Should I be angry? And I'm like, I have used this thing 5 days a week for hours on end since it came out. And during COVID, even more than that. And like my typical game sessions are 2+ hours, and on weekends they go 5+, 6+. And so I wonder if it's dying, or maybe it was just those 2 or 3 games or an internet thing. Cause like there's any number of things that can affect your performance right now.
100%.
So I don't know, but he says he already has the 1 terabyte Seagate, so you're good on storage. Then I would say go with which one's cheaper. Yeah. Have you guys air dusted it? Good question, Il Ray Tito. Good question. No.
I will
say. Do you do that to a console? Am I supposed to?
I do. Yeah. I actually go a little bit further. From time to time, I will actually break out my iFixit screwdriver kit. I will tear open my Xbox or my PlayStation. PlayStation makes it easier, to be perfectly honest. Their panels just like pop off like they're Fisher Price toys, but you can get access to the fans a lot quicker. Xbox, it's all like one like channel of stuff that you have to rip out. But I like to go in and actually use, like, I guess you could do this without, if you wanted to do this without having to tear apart your Xbox, grab some cotton swabs. You may even want to buy like longer stemmed cotton swabs and just get some isopropyl alcohol on him and then wipe the fan blades. And that will actually take away any kind of like residual that might be on there that like cans of compressed air won't clean. Also be careful about the cans of compressed air too, because there are chemicals in there. And if you spray that into it while the system has been running, there is like an ignition, like fear that I have in the back of my mind. I don't know if it's founded or not, but there are inflammation. I can't remember what the word is, but there's chemicals in there that are flammable. that if they get too close to heated parts may cause sparks or a fire or something like that. So just be very cautious. Clean it when it's been off for a while.
I want you to know you talked me out of this several sentences back. I was
Perfect.
like, no.
Perfect.
No.
Get a paper towel, stick your finger in there when it's off.
Oh, the Xbox, right.
Yes.
What the quite sure.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Oh, by the way, Shattered Space. It is available on the PC version with the crossplay. So Play Anywhere is available. I didn't realize I had to go in and manage the add-ons, but once I went in to actually manage the add-ons on the PC client, it just let me install all the premium content. So Oldamar's Shattered Space, that's all in there now. So I can actually jump in and start playing that on Monday. So I'm excited for that.
I hate to justify all the PC people because you just complicated a console experience with PC logic. But I looked at, Xbox obviously has been on PC forever. I looked at the list of PlayStation games on PC now, from Spider-Man to Ghost of Tsushima, Days Gone, Helldivers,
Horizon got its
Last
review
of Us
for Ragnarok.
Yep, it's everybody's going there. Everybody's going there. It's crazy. It's like those PC. Nerds have something going for them.
And the best part about it, there's no subscription fee. You don't have to subscribe to pay for the access to play games with your friends online. You just play it.
I don't know. PlayStation, goodness. Xbox news in here that Diablo 4 is coming, of course. It's important to note, according to Abdel, that if you buy the Vessel of Hatred on Xbox, it doesn't transfer to PC, unlike Shattered Space. And Vessel of Hatred is 2 weeks away, or under 2 weeks away from the time you and I are recording this. So that's confusing.
Thanks, Bobby Kotick. Son of a B.
You think Bobby did that? You don't think Sarah Bond could fix that? You're not mad at Sarah for this one?
No, they could very much fix it, but very much like the Destiny 2 issue where there's license deals, there's contracts in place that prevent Destiny from being able to just allow you to have cross ownership with your expansions, because anytime I've had to buy Destiny 2 expansion on PC, I buy it through the Xbox store because I get the reward points, so it gets to be a little bit cheaper for me, right? But that does not cross over to my Xbox. And just like with Diablo 4, I have it on Xbox. I do not have it. I had to buy it through Battle.net to be able to do that. So we haven't quite gotten there with Activision Blizzard games because of the way that Bobby Kotick wanted to have each game's content exclusive to each platform. There's no Play Anywhere feature. So we need to get there with Xbox behind the wheel, and eventually that will hopefully come, but it will probably be with newer titles as opposed to older stuff. But yes, I do think it sucks a lot that I have to wait for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 to show up on Game Pass for me to be able to play it on my PC, because I don't want to buy it through Battle.net or Xbox Play Anywhere on PC, even though I own the copy thanks to the codes that we were given on Xbox. It's I wish I could say it's just Diablo. It's not. It's Diablo, it's Destiny, it's Call of Duty, it's a ton of games that have their content segregated to different platforms. Even though they're all still owned by Xbox right now, we haven't quite gotten to that stage where they're allowing Play Anywhere with all of their titles.
Mm-hmm. It's time. I'm over it. It's time.
You're over it. You're just done. You just want it to be Play Anywhere.
Fix it. Fix it. What's up, Mav? Fun speculation in the house. He actually did. I watched. It was his live stream on Tokyo Game Show that I watched.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good to see you, buddy.
Are you jumping back into Diablo? You don't have time, do you?
It depends on Vessel of Hatred. It depends on just vibes, honestly, because I'm enjoying our spooky stuff that we've been talking about. I'm enjoying the COD spooky stuff that we've been doing. I don't know if I'll get into Shattered Space right away. It's just a matter of time. Yeah, October is just a busy month, and I am very much in the if they don't get if it's not something I've requested for coverage, then I'm just going with the flow, what I feel like. And that's why I purposely didn't request some things for coverage because I knew I'd be busy. I requested 1 or 2 hardware things, like earbuds and stuff like that. We'll see if we cover those because SteelSeries is doing new gamer earbuds. If we're able to cover those, I'd be interested to see how that goes because I love this headset so much.
Interesting. Yeah, because I'm using freaking these cables because my HyperX are like cracked and falling apart, and my my Xbox ear pads the ear pads on the Xbox wireless headset are like Suddies. They're just tearing apart at the seams.
Yeah, give me I can send you one of my Arctis, I think 7s or 9s. If you want like just a headset to get you through.
I mean, it's not necessarily like a get me through. It's like I want to find something that is going to be usable for PC as well as Xbox and stuff. So I'm in the market to buy, but I'm going to be holding off and seeing like what's going on with some of the new stuff that's coming out, especially if they're going to be earbuds. I definitely wouldn't mind earbuds.
I think David Burdett says he already has them. Gamingtrend.com. I bet you he's already reviewing them as we speak. Yeah, you should talk to him. Logan, I saw the Xbox Game Pass app is going away and being merged with the Xbox app, as it always should have been.
They couldn't have done it, man. They couldn't do it. They had to have it separate.
Fix it. I don't care. Just fix it. Make it work. But I am glad to see that this is happening because it dividing your audience is never a good thing. So I'm glad to see that the Xbox app is splitting up, as it were, and going to the right places. So,
yeah, definitely.
Yep.
Shout out to A-Chick who just did 5 gifted subs over on my Twitch. Appreciate that. That's nice.
Oh, nice. Very cool. She's a keeper. Did you see there was something I wanted to point out? Oh, did you notice, and I spotted this, but it just kind of just felt like odd. We've had so many banger months for Game Pass that October just feels light. We got Aura History Untold, Frostpunk 2 in there, and then Wargroove 2. But it just feels like October is light for Game Pass, except for Call of Duty.
I was going to say,
that's their heavy hitter, and it's backloaded at the end of the month. I'm surprised they're not talking about like what they're doing Game Pass wise in the front of the month. Are we not getting spooky stuff in there? Are there not going to be, any big third party games coming through? Is there an ABK thing happening? Is StarCraft meant to be that? I just feel like we've had so many big months for Game Pass. And I will say, not every month has to be a big month for Game Pass. Because there's so much value in it already. But you raised the price 3 months ago, you should be hitting on all cylinders.
I mean, that's really hard to argue because I feel like we've got 2 expansions coming out in a week that are going to be for games that are on Game Pass. So like the content is there, but it's not like in Game Pass. So like if you want to play through the games normally, then you're good. But you're not wrong. Like the content launch right now for October is pretty light. I just think that they're just they know people are going to sign up for Black Ops 6. So
and Vessel of Hatred and Shattered Space, like maybe you don't get them in there, but you sign up so you can play those. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, kind of like you like if you want to play them, like it's you get Black Ops 6 and you get Starfield and Diablo 4 in October, and for the price of what you would normally pay for like the base version of Black Ops 6, you can get the 2 expansions for Shattered Space and Diablo 4, and you get all 3 games and all of the content.
Fair.
So, I mean, maybe that's the mindset, but that's not the marketing, and the marketing is what sells. So they haven't really done anything to really kind of like tell me why Game Pass is going to be worth picking up for the whole month as opposed to just at the end.
Fair. Good point. Just something that was on my mind. I don't know. Let's see. You get a 10% discount of Vessel of Hatred with Game Pass, 36 instead of 40. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Good point. Well said.
Yeah.
Can't argue that.
Definitely. That's kind of where I'm probably going to be jumping into it, is because on Xbox I've got, because this is the problem with Blizzard having BattleNet and them being owned by Xbox. None of my purchases through Xbox carry over to BattleNet, which sucks, because BattleNet, to me at least, I know Nissa says that they have a problem with it logging every time it turns, every time they log on, or launches every time they log on, even if they turn it off. I haven't run into that. I would always honestly recommend uninstalling it and reinstalling it, because it sounds like there's a bad code setting in there. But none of my purchases on Xbox transfer over to my BattleNet account, and I have Diablo 4 on BattleNet, but I have Diablo 4 through Xbox, so I can get the Game Pass like discount through Xbox, and that'll be great. But boy, it'd be nice if that purchase just carried over to BattleNet as well too.
I'm going to refer you back to my comment 3 minutes ago. Fix it.
Just fix it.
Fix it.
I agree.
Jam-Pack Sam saying the vibes around Black Ops 6 being on Game Pass are strange. I expected more people to be talking about that as a value proposition personally. I hope Xbox goes hard in the paint when it comes to marketing Game Pass in October for the purposes of Starfield, Diablo, and COD, because now's the time more than ever. Like, I hate to break it to you, anybody listening, it ain't Indiana Jones. It's not Avowed. It's Starfield, Diablo, and Call of Duty. That's what's going to sell your subscription. The other stuff is amazing. I'm going to enjoy it. You know I love Game Pass. I preach it all the time. I am the game explorer. I've been playing so many games thanks to Game Pass. You got to do it in October with these games on the way. Got to.
Yeah.
Got to. Alrighty, man. It's a shorter episode, but that's okay. I think it suits the week given the nature of the news. Is there anything that we haven't talked about that you wanted to mention?
I'm trying to think if there was something. We did talk about the controllers, which I think was the thing that I was really looking forward to. Outside of that, there's a lot of video content that's available right now for both Shattered Space and Diablo Vessel of Hatred. I always want to say Vessels. Vessel of Hatred. So if you guys aren't sure what's going on with the story and you want like a quick catch up, there's definitely a lot of content on YouTube that Blizzard has put out for like the Diablo channels, as well as Bethesda has put out for the Shattered Space. So you can get caught up on that stuff very quickly. Outside of that, I think Nis is saying that the new Zelda came out. And honestly, like, I kind of wish it was the dungeon maker that reports are coming out that were saying that was the case. I'm pretty content with the games that I'm in right now, so I'm probably going to hold off on that. I still haven't even bought Super Mario RPG or Mario not Odyssey. What was the one that came out just before then? The new Mario game where you turn into an elephant. I can't remember what that one's called. I haven't even bought that. I've been so off of my Switch like the last year and a half that I just it's like Mario Kart from time to time, and that's it.
I know what you're talking about, but I don't even know the name.
I can't remember what the name is. What the name? It's bugging me.
Mario.
Yes, the latest installment in the Mario
Wonder.
Oh my god, I would have never gotten there. It's like Samsonite. Never would have gotten there.
Fair enough.
But yeah,
fair enough. All right, man. Well, I am going to be going back to playing more spooky games because I'm enjoying that. Vampire Survivors has been my one of my relaxed games. I will be checking out The Quarry after I do a few more collectible cleanups and casting of Frankstone, which I talked about at the top of the show. If you guys missed it, it's okay. But I am excited. I am excited to see that more people check out Dead by Daylight because they're doing a cool haunting thing. And the game's fun. If you're solo, play Killer. It's 100% different experience than Survivor. So it's there's two games in there. I know it's asymmetrical, but like it's two different games. So definitely check that out. That's why I strongly recommend it. It's perfect for the season. So, all right. that is going to be it for me. Thank you to everybody that has liked or shared the episode. Appreciate David Burdett gifting a sub today. We really appreciate you guys. Appreciate A-Check for supporting your Twitch channel, Logan, where we broadcast simultaneously. Thank you guys for any type of support you provide XEP. You really do help keep the lights on and the content coming. Logan, tell people where they can find you and what you got going on.
A community episode for Keelhauled is out this week. So we're going to be finding out how people thought of the community weekend and all the issues that came with the update and how the new patches are treating people and if the game is stable and how it definitely needs to have like a remake where they kind of rethink everything that they did with that game, but still keep it Sea Thieves, because sad situation where the poor game is just constantly broken.
That game needs a remaster.
It needs a remake is what it needs. It needs Unreal Engine 5 to come and save it from the Unreal Engine 4 and the Xbox One that is still holding it back.
Maybe they should sunset the Xbox One version.
Maybe they should sunset the Xbox One.
Yes, they should. I agree. Alrighty, guys.
Just send everyone a Series S. That's the answer.
Make them buy one or log on to PC. It's time. That thing came out 11 years ago. Anyway, privileged take from me. Thank you guys for supporting XCP on all your social platforms and the like. We really do appreciate you. I want to just triple down on that. Thank you guys for that. Have a fantastic rest of your week, everyone. Take care.